Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to geek out.
Well, get ready, because today we're going deep into the world of agentic AI and how it's going to totally revolutionize finance.
Sounds complicated.
It is. But luckily we have a research paper hot off the presses to guide us. It's called Agentic AI Systems Applied to Tasks in Financial Services, published just this month.
Okay, so like AI that actually does stuff in finance.
Exactly. I mean, we've all seen those sci-fi movies where AI takes over the world, but how is it actually being used in finance right now?
Yeah, fill us in.
Well, think of it this way. Instead of just crunching numbers, these AI systems are like mini financial experts working together.
So it's not just one like super AI calling all the shots.
Nope, it's more like a team effort.
Gotcha. So like a financial dream team.
Exactly, with different players and different strengths. And some are awesome at data analysis. Others are like pattern recognition masters.
So how are these AI agents different from what we've seen before?
It's the way they work together. The researchers call them agentic AI crews, modeled after real-world teams.
Okay, so these AI agents are like specialized experts, each one with their own unique skill set.
You got it. And they've been focusing on two types, modeling crews and model risk management crews.
Whoa, hold on. AI checking AI. That's wild. So tell me more about these modeling crews first. Like, what are they actually modeling?
They're tackling some really complex financial tasks. Imagine a team of, like, AI data scientists building financial models.
Okay, so what are these AI agents actually doing?
Well, one might be responsible for, cleaning and prepping the data, another picks the best model, and then another fine-tunes it.
Ah, so it's like a whole process broken down into smaller tasks.
Precisely. And just like a human team, they're constantly communicating and sharing information to make sure they're getting the best possible outcome.
So how do these AI agents communicate? Do they all just shout out ideas?
That's a good question. They can actually collaborate in a few different ways,
Mm-hmm.
and it all depends on the task at hand. Sometimes they work horizontally.
Horizontal.
Yeah, like colleagues with equal footing, all putting their heads together for a common goal.
Okay, I get it. Like a brainstorming session.
Exactly. But what happens when you need, like, someone to take charge?
Right, is there a leader?
There is. It's called hierarchical collaboration. Think of it like a company structure, with a manager AI calling the shots.
Ah, so like the boss AI delegating tasks and making sure everyone's on track?
You got it.
Makes sense. So you've got horizontal and hierarchical. What was that third way they mentioned?
That's dynamic collaboration.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets super interesting. Instead of a fixed structure, the team's organization actually changes based on the task.
Wait, so they can like switch up the team structure on the fly?
Yep. Imagine a team that can adapt its structure to be more efficient, depending on the project.
Pretty cool, right?
That's insanely cool.
Okay.
But how well do these agentic AI systems actually work? Like in the real world? That's the million-dollar question. So the researchers put these AI crews to the test using real financial data.
Okay, I'm all ears. Spill a tea.
Well, they tackled three main areas. First up, credit card fraud detection. The system banks use to spot those sneaky fraudulent transactions.
So the AI is basically playing detective.
Yep. And they did a pretty amazing job. The AI modeling crew had over 94% accuracy in spotting those fraudulent transactions.
Wow, that's impressive. Fewer headaches for us dealing with those bogus charges.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they didn't stop there. They wanted to test something even more challenging, so they moved on to credit card approvals.
Oh man, that whole application process can be a nail biter.
Tell me about it. So they used a data set to see if the AI could accurately predict whether someone would get approved for a credit card.
So like could the AI be a loan officer?
You could say that.
Yeah.
And get this, the AI agents built a model that was even more accurate than existing solutions, hitting 95% accuracy in predictions.
Whoa, seriously? That's
Yeah.
wild.
It is. Okay, so they nailed fraud detection and credit card approvals. What was the third test?
Portfolio credit risk. That's basically figuring out the risk of a bunch of loans defaulting.
Right, and this is where it gets super complex, even for the pros.
Yeah.
So this is where the model risk management crews come in.
Ah, the quality control crew making sure those models are top notch.
You got it. So the
Mhm.
modeling crew had built a high-performing model,
Right.
But then the MRM crew got to work. They started testing it under shifted data distribution.
Shifted data distributions sounds intense.
It is. Think of it like throwing some curveballs at the model. And guess what?
They found some cracks.
Exactly. It turned out the model wasn't as rock solid as it seemed at first.
So the AI risk managers actually found flaws in the AI model's work.
Yep. And that's why having this second layer of AI oversight is so important. It's not just about accuracy. It's about making sure those models are reliable, no matter what curveballs get thrown their way.
So this is like AI teamwork at its finest. Different types of AI coming together to create like a super reliable financial system.
Exactly. It's pretty mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
But this begs the question, where do humans fit into all of this?
Right. Like, are we just going to hand over the reins to the AI?
That's a great question. And the researchers actually emphasize that human oversight is still absolutely essential, at least for now.
So it's not about replacing humans entirely. It's more like a partnership.
You got it. AI and humans working side by side. But it definitely feels like we're getting a peek into the future of finance, where AI is going to play a huge role.
It definitely does. And you know what? The paper even hints at even more mind-blowing possibilities in the future.
Ooh, like what?
Well, how about self-improving AI agents?
Wait, like AI that can basically learn from its mistakes and get better over time without us having to step in.
You got it. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into next.
Self-improving AI agents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right?
Right. But it sounds like it could be a game changer for finance.
It could be huge EE. Think about it. An AI managing your portfolio that's constantly learning about market trends.
On adjusting its strategies to, make me more money.
Exactly. It's like having a super-powered financial advisor working for you 24/7.
Okay, that sounds amazing in theory, but what about the potential downsides?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is control.
Control.
Yeah. I mean, as these AI systems become more complex, how do we make sure they're still aligned with, our goals, our values?
Right. We don't want them going rogue and making decisions that we don't understand or agree with.
Exactly. So the researchers are really focusing on transparency and explainability.
So making sure we can actually understand how the AI is making its decisions.
Exactly. It's not just about building smart AI. It's about building AI that we can trust.
Makes sense.
But, it's not just about control. There are also ethical considerations, too.
Like what?
Well, for instance, how do we make sure these AI systems are fair and unbiased in their decision-making?
Especially when it comes to things like loan approvals or credit scoring.
Exactly. We don't want these systems to, perpetuate existing biases or create new ones.
That's a really good point. It seems like the ethical implications of self-improving AI are just as important as the technological advancements.
They absolutely are. It's a complex issue, but it's a conversation we need to be having as this technology keeps developing.
Okay, so just to recap, we've got these agentic AI crews that are already showing some pretty impressive results in, fraud detection, credit card approvals, risk management.
Right. And then on the horizon, we've got the potential for self-improving AI systems that could totally revolutionize the way we manage our finances.
But with some big questions around control, transparency, and ethics that we need to figure out.
You got it. It's a really fascinating field, full of promise and, potential pitfalls.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given me a lot to think about. It feels like we've only scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much more to explore.
Well, for our listeners who want to go even deeper, we've included a link to the full research paper in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
But, let's shift gears for a second and talk about you. We've discussed the potential benefits and risks of this technology. But what stands out to you personally?
What really fascinates me is the potential for personalization. Imagine a world where your financial advice is tailored to your specific goals, risk tolerance, and even your ethical preferences.
That's an interesting point. It seems like agentic AI could make financial services more accessible and relevant to individual needs. But wouldn't that require a ton of data about each person?
It would, and that's where data privacy and security become even more critical. We need to make sure that people have control over their data and that it's being used responsibly.
So like a balancing act between, leveraging the power of AI for personalized services while also protecting privacy.
Right. It's a delicate balance.
Are there any other potential applications of agentic AI in finance that you're particularly interested in?
One area that I think has huge potential is in democratizing access to financial expertise. Imagine an AI-powered financial advisor that's available to everyone, regardless of their income or financial literacy.
That's a really powerful idea, especially for people who haven't traditionally had access to personalized financial guidance.
Exactly. It could empower people to make better decisions about their money and their future.
And that's just one example, right? The possibilities with agentic AI in finance seem almost endless.
They really do. And it's exciting to think about where this technology could take us.
Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. We've explored the inner workings of agentic AI systems, their capabilities, and the potential impact they could have on the future of finance.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But I think it's so important to understand these advancements as they're happening because they're already starting to shape the financial world around us.
They are. And I think this is just the beginning.
It feels like we've opened up this huge world of possibilities and challenges with agentic AI in finance.
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack.
We've covered how these AI systems actually work, their potential impact on everything. I mean, from fraud detection to, personalized financial advice.
And we've talked about some of the big questions that come with this tech.
Right. Like, how do we make sure these AI systems are fair? How do we keep them under control as they get, smarter?
Yeah, those are big ones. And of course, what does it all mean for our privacy and security?
All super important stuff. And
Yeah.
feels like we need to be having these conversations now before things move too fast.
Absolutely. This tech is evolving so quickly, we got to be proactive about shaping its development.
So it's not just about the tech itself, right? It's about how we use it and what values we build into it.
Exactly. We have to be mindful of the bigger picture.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's trying to navigate this whole, crazy world of AI in finance?
Stay informed. Seriously.
Read articles, listen to podcasts like this one.
Yeah. And, don't be afraid to engage in those conversations about the ethical side of things, the impact this tech could have on society.
So it's not just about understanding the tech itself. It's about the bigger context and how it could change our lives.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to, ask questions and challenge assumptions. Really think about the information you're getting.
Totally agree. We need more critical thinkers out there, especially with all the information overload we're facing. Not all of it's accurate or reliable.
True. And it's also important to remember, this tech is still pretty new. There's still a lot we don't know about AI and finance.
It's still being figured out.
Which makes it a pretty exciting time to be following this field. There's so much potential for innovation.
Oh, absolutely. It's a dynamic space. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be working alongside an agentic AI team.
Managing my finances. Or, building the next generation of AI financial tools.
It could happen.
That's a pretty wild thought.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show how much potential this technology has.
It does. And even with all the challenges, I'm optimistic about the role AI can play in the future of finance.
Making it more efficient, accessible, and, fair for everyone.
Exactly. A more inclusive system.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank you for being here and sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure. Always happy to talk about AI.
And to our listeners, we hope you learned something new today about agentic AI and its potential to reshape the financial world.
If you're ready to dig in even deeper, remember to check out the show notes for a link to that research paper. It's definitely worth a read.
And as always, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep on diving deep.
Stay curious, everyone.